Physical Science Solids by Nancy Leber. Introduction. It is a nice day. The sun is high in the sky. You decide to have lunch outside. You eat a sandwich and sip soup. You take a deep breath. Then you start to think. What is your sandwich made of? What is your soup made of? What is the air made of? They are all made of matter. Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. Everything on earth is made of matter. That means you too. Not all matter is the same. Matter has three different states or forms. The states are solids, liquids, and gases. Each state of matter has certain properties. Properties tell us how something looks. Properties also tell us how something feels or smells. Read on to find out about matter. Learn about solids. See what makes solids special. The air is gas. The soup is liquid. The sandwich is a solid. Chapter 1. Properties of matter. Look around. Can you see a desk? How about a book? Most things you can see are solids. Solids have a definite shape. They keep their shape when you hold them. Pick up a book. The book keeps its shape. Put the book down. It stays in place. Water is a different type of matter. Water is a liquid. A liquid needs something to hold it. The holder gives it shape. Think of water in a glass. The water takes the shape of the glass. A liquid is different from a solid in another way. A liquid can be poured. It floats. Ketchup is a liquid. It takes the shape of the bottle. But when the ketchup flows out of the bottle, it has no definite shape, though it makes a definite mess. Think of a cup of hot cocoa. The hot cocoa is a liquid. The cup is a solid. What is the steam rising from the cup? The steam is another type of matter. It is a gas. A gas has no shape. Gas fills whatever space is in it. The steam rising from the hot cocoa is gas. How do we know matter takes up space? Try this experiment. You will see that solids and liquids take up space. That means solids and liquids have volume. Volume is the amount of space something takes up. Hands-on experiment. What you need: water, clear measuring cup, and rocks. What you do: first, fill the measuring cup with water to the 2-cup line. 2. Pick up the measuring cup to feel its weight. 3. Put the rocks in the cup. See if the water is at the line, below it, or above it. 4. Pick up the cup. Does it feel heavier or lighter? What happens? The water level rises because the rocks take up space. Both the rocks, solids, and water, a liquid, take up space in the measuring cup. Does gas take up space too? You can find out. Take an empty balloon, blow air into it. The balloon fills up with air. The air is a gas, so gas takes up space too. Gas has volume too. It fills up the space inside the balloon. All matter is made up of elements. Elements are basic types of matter. We can find elements in nature. Gold is an element. Iron is an element too. Elements are made of atoms. Atoms are very tiny particles. Atoms are the smallest pieces of an element. We cannot see atoms with the naked eye. Atoms are the building blocks of all matter. Different atoms can join together. Some atoms can join to form molecules. Other atoms join to form compounds. These groups make different types of matter. Careers in science. Forensic scientists work with the police. They go to crime scenes. They find clues. They study the clues back at their labs. For example, a robber may leave mud footprints on the floor. Forensic experts look at the mud under a microscope. Finding out where the mud came from could lead the police to the robber. It's a fact. A pencil point has billions of atoms. If everyone in the world were as small as an atom, we could all fit on the tip of a pencil. The molecules are close together in a solid. They are further apart in a liquid. They are very far apart in a gas. What is it like to be a molecule in a solid, liquid, or gas? Try this to find out. Hands-on experiment. What you need, classmates. What you do, first, stand on the floor with classmates. Get close together with no space between you. Stay in place like molecules in a solid. It should be hard to move around. That is why solids hold their shape. Number two, as a group moves towards the door, keeping together, molecules stay packed even when a solid is moved. 3. Now move in arm's lengths apart, but hold hands. Can you shuffle your feet? Shake your arms? You might still bump into someone, but that is how it is to be a molecule in a liquid. 4. Lastly, separate from each other. Dance around the room. That is what it's like to be a molecule in a gas. Properties of solids. Solids, liquids, and gases are different states of matter. Solids are different from each other too. Take a jelly bean and a pebble. They are about the same size and shape. They weigh about the same. They are not the same though. One is soft, one is hard, one is sweet, one is not for eating. They do not feel the same. They do not look the same. That is because they have different properties. Similar solids have different properties. Solids come in all shapes and sizes. They can be heavy, they can be light. Scientists look carefully at things. They see the properties of things. Then they write down what they have seen. Pick a solid from the list you made on page 5. Look at it, feel it, smell it, then list its properties on the chart shown. You have seen how solids take up space. Now try this. Find out if they can share space with other solids. Hands-on experiment. What you need is a large clear plastic jar with lid. Next, a small ball or walnut in shell and uncooked rice. First, fill the jar 1/4 of the way with uncooked rice, which is a solid. 2. Add the ball to the jar. 3. Put on the lid, turn the jar over. Shake the jar side by side, not up and down. Do it until the ball pops up. What happens? As you shake the jar, the spaces between grains of rice get smaller. The grains of the rice get closer and push the ball up. Two solids cannot take up the same space at the same time. Chapter 3. How solids change. Solids keep their shape. Still, you can change their shape if you want to. Take a log, for example. You can saw it in half. You can burn it in a fire. How could you change each of these solids into a different shape? Some solids change their shape easily. Stretch a rubber band, then let it go. It snaps back to its first shape. Other shapes are easy to stretch. They will not always snap back. See what happens to clay after you roll it. Hands-on experiment. What you need: newspaper and scissors. What you do: squeeze the clay between your hands and make a ball. 2. Flatten the ball on a table covered with newspaper. What happens to the shape? 3. Roll the clay into a snake. Hold each end and pull. What happens? 4. Break or cut the clay snake into a few parts. Do you think the parts weigh the same as a long snake? Why? Mold the clay into a new shape. What happens if you bake clay? It dries out and gets hard. Some of its properties have changed. It is not easy to change its shape now. What will change its state? The temperature tells us how hot or cold something is. A change in temperature can change a solid into another state. The solid can turn into a liquid or gas. Here's how it works. Hold an ice cube in your hand. The ice cube is a solid. The heat of your hand will make the ice melt. The ice will turn into water. Now it is a liquid. Heat changes the ice cube from solid into liquid. Put water in a pot. Set it on the stove. Have an adult heat it until it boils. The water will turn into steam. Steam is a gas. Candles work the same way. A candle is a solid. A lit candle will melt. It will turn into a liquid. Then it will get even hotter. It will turn into gas. What about the blob of melted wax? It will cool down. Then it will turn back into a solid, a piece of wax. Lit candles will melt and become a liquid, then a gas. Conclusion. Everything on earth is made of matter. Everything takes up space. Solids, liquids, and gases are states of matter. Solids are special. They hold their shape. They can be different shapes and sizes. They can change their shapes and sizes too. They can even change into other states of matter. Heat can turn solids into liquids or gases. Cold can turn liquids and gases into solids. Look at the list below. You can see what makes solids special. A review of solids: made of matter, takes up space, has weight, holds its shape, may change shape, may change state because of the temperature change.